Oh, welcome to BackChat, powered by Paywise. Footy season's underway, but let's just count it, shall we, boys?
Yep.
Let's just move
Throw it in the bin
to 2026. Throw it in the bin. I was thinking about this before. What's the point of even enjoying sport? Like, one team in the whole competition gets to be good. The rest are just a letdown. I don't know. What are you guys saying? Hello, welcome to everyone. Welcome, Will. Welcome, Hammer. I don't want to talk.
I'm more keen to get into how you're feeling, Dan. West Coast fan Dan. Look,
He was very bullish on the boys before the season started.
lots of people
wasn't
were, and lots of people attacking me personally.
he?
How'd that go for you?
You've always hated them.
Yeah, that's true. You always have hated them. But
You have always hated them.
we started a new chapter, so we were very up and about that.
That is
How
what
did you
chapter
find- yeah.
and what book are you reading, mate? Because it feels like a pretty shit chapter. Like is it one of those chapters that's like new, but like
Same old.
don't really want to read it. It's just the same shit from the chapter before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5th edition.
revamp.
What's the difference to the 4th? Oh, bigger font. I don't know. Like, there's no
Yeah.
difference. So, boys, anyways, we will get to Fremantle. We will get to the West Coast Eagles.
Can I just give a quick update?
Yeah, go
An
on, please.
important one. Dad and I went for a quick lunch meeting today. On the way back,
Yep.
we've
Were there
got
any beers at the lunch meeting?
No, there
No.
wasn't.
No.
Happy
Shit.
St.
I'm off
Paddy's
it at
Day.
the moment. I'm off it.
Yeah, happy St. Pat's Day, yep, to all our Irish friends.
Yeah, sure.
We
sure.
went past
Pelicans.
Yeah, not Lewis Melican.
and
What was the vibe like in there?
well, look, look,
Yeah, look.
it looked like it was some sort of meeting.
Another crisis meeting.
Yep.
Was it another crisis meeting? Was it just the husband and his wife at that
Yeah.
small table in front of the boat?
Look, it was
In front of the canoe that
it
they've
was
got in.
owner with a couple, and I felt like it was here's the venue you're buying.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
But that's not the update. The update is they couldn't open the door.
Yeah.
So I had to jump in. It was, yeah.
Oh, you physically had to. I
He's
was
Yeah.
like,
he goes, all right, come on, let's go have a look, right? And then they go to open the door, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh boy, he's locked himself out.
It's jammed and jacked like diagonally, horizontally behind
oh no,
the hinge. Like it's gone past the point of no return.
So perhaps that is the reason why no one's ever been inside, because the door has been broken and they can't open it.
But
Pelican fish and chips. I would love a listener to just at least try it.
I'm in for the fish and chip.
Yeah, we're going to have the fish and chip party. The Pelican party.
When is that happening again?
when
When
Lewis
Lewis Pelican plays here.
which is soon.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks away. We're going to have a Pelican party.
Sorry, that was the update I want to bring.
No, that's good. That's good.
I want to get in the canoe.
Yeah.
I want to get in that boat.
I think it's I don't know if it's like BYO, because we could bring shelters. That could be a good time.
Yep,
Well, if they're closing up business,
we don't know yet.
which we can only assume they are,
Let's send them off the right way.
send them off the right way.
Like getting 500 people in there ordering fish and
Oh,
chips.
they can't get. Well, then what are they going to get? RSA in trouble? No, they don't. We're closing. Who cares?
It's like people are like,
Oh, we don't have a liquor license after midnight. So what? We're closing.
maybe like when rug stores go like, oh, closing down sale, and
gonna
then
get
everyone
Lamb Ryan
goes
there.
there. Maybe they should do like a closing down fish and chip
Closing
sale.
down
Yeah,
fish and
and
chip.
Lamb Ryan's the ambassador.
Maybe that'd be a good business proposition for anyone who's starting up a fish and chippery. Just like every week, pretend you're having a closing down sale. Just like with things, it's going off the shelf. We're closing. Next
I
week,
don't
we're still
know
there.
if like the going out of like the use by date shark is really going to get me across the line. To be honest, like seafood and we're closing down doesn't quite go together.
We've got
Yeah, no,
clams,
with the
we've got
seafood
prawns,
sensation from
crab
Subway.
sticks from 3 months ago. We need to clear them out. Oh man.
All right, this is a big weekend in
This is
West
a big
Australia.
weekend.
It's
The
round
biggest
one.
weekend.
Should we just talk? Should we get into some footy? Because Hammer, you've got to get. You're back to.
Yeah, I'm
leaving
back to
early on
my
Mondays.
trainings. Yep. So I got to leave here in 25.
So I want to make sure we get through all
go.
the important
Get into
things.
it.
Let's go. Let's get into it. The Fremantle Dockers started their 2025 with a horrific display in Geelong on Saturday with a loss to the Cats by 78 points, boys. What did we think about this with the Dockers on the weekend, and what could they take? What's a positive maybe that you could look at moving forward for the team?
The Eagles fan would start with the Dockers after your
Yeah,
shithousery
shit
on the weekend.
performance.
Anyway, we'll do Freo first. No worries, Dan. You set the show notes here. Anything to say there?
I'm a Melbourne fan again, by the way.
Well,
I
you're-
support Melbourne once more.
Do you?
Go ahead.
Mate, you saw it. I mean, you were live. You were live tweeting and Instagramming on this.
I
It's
would
brilliant.
like if we have. It's tough because we don't. We haven't got. We've got a lot of like. We've got our preferred beer, which is Shelter. We've got our preferred
Whiskey.
electronics, whiskey, which is Whippersnapper. Our preferred electronic scorer is Camera Electronic. If you need to shit or have any electrical work, go to On One.
Yep.
We don't have a preferred permanent marker company, but I would, if we did, if it was Sharpie or Bic.
Bic.
Is it-
I like- yeah, Bic,
I don't
yeah.
mind Bic. Any of those, the big, probably big two. Any of the big two.
Brought to you by Big.
Brought to you by Big.
What are we doing?
I'd be drawing a massive fat black line through the Fremantle Dockers.
Is that right?
And their future of winning a premiership this year. It's done. I was all in on them, and all I needed was one game to say, see you later.
You're
they
all
can't
out
win
now.
it. I'm out. I've jumped ship completely.
Why?
My issue with them last year was whenever the heat got turned up, they just went handball to try and handball their way out of pressure, and they're not good enough to do that. They don't have the skillful. They're not skillful enough to zip through good pressure teams.
With kick or with handball?
With handball.
Like GWSR.
GWSR. Like you look back when Richmond were flying, they were handball happy.
Yes.
But they're not good enough to do that. They had too many times, like Matt Johnson, I watched on the weekend, handball the ball directly to the turf about 16 times.
Perfect.
And like,
How many handballs?
what are you going to do there? Like
16 handballs.
you're trying to get, you're playing foursquare with your buddies, like trying to fucking double bounce it before it gets to him. Like that style of play with the pressure coming at you, you need to rely on your talls down the line to make a contest. Josh Tracy, Jai Amos are fucking big boys. Kick the ball to them. It was almost like, I'm not sure what JL's telling him in the coaching box, but it's almost like he had the directive, boys, unless you're kicking it laterally or backwards, you can't kick it more than 40 metres.
Because otherwise, handball.
Otherwise, handball. And it turned him into shit. I looked at quarter time and I put this up.
You've done Jono dirty, by the way. He's had 15 handballs.
Yeah, and 15 of them went straight to the floor. Quarter time, it was 90 disposals Geelong to 104 or something Fremantle. Geelong were basically 2-1 kick handball, which that's good.
Yeah.
They were 34 points. Fremantle were 1-1 handball to kick. They had more handballs than kicks at quarter time, and it's like you're just never going to win. They will not win a final playing that style of ball movement.
So why are they rolling that out in round one then?
Because I think they're trying to keep it vanilla and surprise us all for the Derby.
Are they still hiding the game
They're still hiding the game plan.
That could be it. JL could be hiding the game plan.
It was shit. It was shit to watch. If that's their style of ball movement, they're going to beat the piss out of teams that are shit. Like they will waltz through West Coast's lack of pressure. They will waltz through all the bottom six sides. They'll waltz through them. They will get beaten by any good side, and they won't win a final. They're flat track bullies.
Just to cut through the analysis here you've given, Hammer.
Give me the big bick.
What you were saying is not out of school, and it's not really like rocket science, right? All you're saying,
kick the fucking ball. Get the ball. If you're under pressure, fucking kick it. If you're under pressure, don't give it to another mate under pressure with a shit dinky handball to someone's foot. Fucking kick the ball.
Is there a golden ratio of kick to handball?
2-1.
That's it?
2-1. Perfect.
Unless you are good by hand. Yep. And they were not. So that, all that tells me, I didn't see this game. I was swimming with sharks out in the middle of Rottnest Channel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did the pop-up.
Good man.
Look, still got my tattoos on. They don't come off.
Hey,
they legitimately don't
okay.
come off. And also, we want to flex it up in the shower a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was doing that. So I didn't see a minute of this game.
Well, you didn't need to see much.
But I watched your review of it, basically, via story. And I'd be shocked, flabbergasted, and everything else if, by the sounds of it, that's what they've practiced all off-season. And then, I don't know, mate.
They won't win they might make finals because they're going to beat up. We'll get to West Coast in a second, but they were shit. They were real shit.
West Coast,
West Coast were shit, and we'll get to that in a minute. But that lack of pressure, handball, you can handball through that easy. And the handball looks $1 million. And that's where you're, as a coach or as a department, you look at you show the clips and you're like, fuck boys, how good's this? This is perfect. Yeah, mate, but you're doing it against witches' hats. Obviously, it's going to look good.
Yes.
You're literally playing at traffic school and you're driving that fake little cart that you pedal with your feet. It's easy. It's fucking easy to do that. But when you're actually in a real car and there's people on the road coming at you, you have to be able to fucking do it.
So Geelong in Geelong.
Surely. The hardest test.
So can we just put that on the table? I feel like I need to bring some positivity to this podcast.
No positivity.
What about Murphy? What about Murphy Reid? You had 5 minutes of him.
That was fucking awesome.
And he didn't win the Rising Star, which fair enough.
That's
Sam Law had 2 goals and 18 touches and fucking 8 scoring balls.
Yeah, correct.
And his cock got out, I'll tell you.
Hey, that's
couple
true.
times.
Hey, Jaiden, do you have that?
Did he not wear jocks?
How's his dick and balls getting out?
I actually don't know.
If you haven't seen
what
this,
did you play? What jocks did you wear when you played?
I just jock, normal jock.
Maybe he just does skins
triangles?
and no jocks.
No, I was
briefs.
Yeah, I'm a briefs man now.
See, briefs, I feel like that's dangerous for cock and balls.
Yeah,
because
that's
that
where it
doesn't
comes
have
out.
Mine's not big enough.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, true. I've got massive nurries.
But the dredger.
Like these, that's what I wear. These triangles.
Yeah,
That is
see,
good protection around the
I've
cock.
just never enjoyed that sort of underwear.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, so
Fair
I feel like to be copying what we copped on the weekend from Sam Lawler, he's not wearing any.
Or you're wearing your Peter Alexander bedtime boxer shorts.
Yeah, the silk ones, the loose ones.
Yeah, he's wearing his Peter Alexanders.
So has he heard? All I thought was maybe he's heard the Pojo chat from last week.
Yes, he could have.
Right,
Pants off, jocks
pants
on.
off, jocks on.
Other way around.
Pre-game.
He was pants on, jocks off. He was
Got it wrong.
He was a
Joe,
mid-game
I can see how it
Pojo.
was confusing.
He was a mid-game Pojo.
jocks
Playing
on, pants
Pojo.
off.
Honestly,
Jopo.
A triple P playing
Jaiden,
pants
do you have
jocks
the
off.
do you have that fine that we got through?
Picture of his dick
We,
top balls.
we did put out for some.
We pull that
fans,
up. Let's get a photo of Sam Lawler's.
We did put it out
Willie.
for some Freo fans to get involved,
Yes.
and West Coast fans. Give us this one, Jaiden from Fremantle.
Lads, I'm just as pissed as Dan. You come into the new year expecting no more vanilla footy, and what do? Dribble the same old garbage. Old talk, no walk. I'm sick of supporting a team that just doesn't want to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How does a team that's looking for a dynasty let their opponent kick 10 goals against them in the last? If they can't play with any hope, what hope should we have as supporters?
oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's a tough residual of 30 years from the Dockers as well.
Who was that fine from? Do we have that name? Because he's gonna
James.
Yep, I'm sure. Yep, get him on Big Bic.
Yeah.
So we want signed up in permanent marker.
Bic.
Brought to you by Bic.
Brought
And
to
it's
you
a
by
big
Bic.
black.
Okay,
mark
black
through it.
line.
Hey, we'll get
Through
Jeff onto
Fremantle.
that. Also, a comment here from the debrief on YouTube, friend of the family. Hammer's lost the plot here. Freo will torch Swans, and you'll be back on them.
I won't be back on him.
That's from a Melbourne supporter
It's
as
gonna.
well.
It's going to take. It's
Big time
going.
Melbourne supporter
It's going
and Liverpool
to.
supporter.
What it'll take for me to get back on board with Fremantle now is a complete uphaul in game style.
So they play Sydney next week.
Yep, it's going to take a complete uphaul in game style. That handball game, it'll. Let me put it straight.
4 quarters into the season, you want Plan B.
yes.
Plan A gone.
Plan A shit. It's not working.
Plan B.
Plan A was last year and didn't Let me tell you my thought. You need to scrap that fucking handball game. It needs to. You need to learn to embrace pressure down the line. Give yourself 50 meters, not 4 meters to a fucking someone's foot.
Yes.
It needs to you just can't rely on that. They're going to beat teams. They will convincingly beat teams too. Like you'll get games against
Gold
shit
Coast,
pressure
West Coast.
teams.
Top operation.
You're gonna win by 80 points, and everyone will think, "Fuck yeah, how good's this?" So
Come finals, pressure comes up.
come finals, pressure comes on, you're done.
All right. Well,
move. Let's
into
move.
some
Just
positive
mindful
news.
of we need Hammer.
We
Yeah,
do
you
need
need
some.
me.
Into positive news for the Dockers, Luke Jackson has categorically ruled out a return to Victoria following reports that he was interested in a trade back to Melbourne. Scoey, your thoughts on this whole situation, please?
Piss funny. Like, piss funny. Like, honestly. So,
Who's this Cameron bloke that keeps teeing off at you?
Benny Cameron. Benny Cameron, great, great operator, blah, blah, blah. ABC man. Anyway, look.
Fuck the
I
AB.
just think that X and Twitter, you've just got
Same
to
thing.
have a laugh sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
And people take it way too seriously.
Agreed. I'm not on there.
And
personally.
we can't hold everyone to exactly what comes out of their mouth or what they tweet. Like if I did that to myself, I'd just
You'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I'd be in trouble, which is fine. If you just have it with an air of like, who gives a shit? It's hilarious, which allows you to go hard at other people when
Correct,
you keep
yeah,
receipts.
yeah.
I tweeted on the weekend that the reason why West Coast were losing was because of the umpiring. And people were like, "You imbecile! You know nothing. As if that equals 10 goals." Like, and I know,
Mate,
like,
I've said GWS are winning the flag, Freo are winning the flag, Hawthorn winning the flag. Like whatever comes out of my mouth or I tweet, like it doesn't actually matter. However,
yes,
Mitch Cleary, friend of the family. So we had Mitch on.
Yeah, we did have Mitch on the
you
other
know
week.
Mitch is. He's
Yep.
Channel 7 head honcho.
Yep.
Head newsbreaker.
Yep.
Lovely man.
The news. Yeah, we love him. Broke the news that I feel like I need to get this right, but
Luke Jackson was considering a trade back to
He was
Melbourne because his
chatting-
girlfriend is a netballer that plays over there.
well, it didn't.
Something like
I didn't
that.
see any of that. I saw the.
He was entertaining trades back.
Correct. Hang on a second here.
Pretty much bang on what I reckon you'll find.
I want to read that. I mean, do we have any of these? Victorian clubs headlined by Melbourne have begun planting the seed with Luke Jackson, believing his head could be turned on a potential trade backflip. He is contracted with Fremantle until 2029. So Mitch hasn't said he's leaving.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
But-
we know that. However, I, full of piss, right, said this is rare junk from Mitch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's just junk. Like, okay, so
Come on, Mitch, you're off. That's nowhere near it.
you know,
Friend of the family. You just,
Margot Robbie is gettable by Hamish Brayshaw. It's possible. Not going to happen.
Well, yeah,
and
I'm
I'm
in a
sure
loving
Hamish would
relationship.
enjoy that.
I'm in a loving relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it is something that, I think is a possibility.
Considering that we're both two human beings that exist on the planet.
Yeah,
like-
correct. So it's a similar sort of analogy to
Australian?
what's going on
Jesus,
here.
so am I.
Yeah, no shit. Melbourne clubs want to
do. He's
come
pretty
and talk
good.
to Luke Jackson. Yeah, of course they do. However, he was never chanced at Levy. Have we got any of these tweets lined up, Jaiden, or not? Don't worry about it.
Yes, here we go. Luke Jackson has indicated to Melbourne players he is keen to look at a move back.
So this is my other
from
favourite one.
Cal
And
Toomey.
this isn't an attack on... This is Cal Toomey. So this is on his podcast, Gettable. Very good podcast. And the boys do a great job. However,
He's quoted that.
that is word for word. Luke Jackson has indicated to Melbourne players he's keen to look for a move back. Give me the next Cal Toomey. Next. Can we go next? Jackson is open to extending his contract at the Dockers. It's the exact opposite of what he said. His deal now with Fremantle will take him to the end of 2029. Jackson due to front the media on Monday before his 100th game. So that's the complete opposite.
Yep.
Right? The complete opposite. Luke has fronted the media today. Eliza Riley, a great operator.
Yep.
Question from the media, don't know who. Can you categorically rule out a return to Victoria? Now, Luke Jackson's answer, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just listening to this and not watching it, there is a form where this may be ambiguous, but I feel like this is quite a clear answer to that question. Yes. Can you categorically rule out a return to Victoria? Luke's answer, yes.
Now, unless Luke doesn't understand the word categorically,
Which
he
maybe.
could.
Dogger, good ruckman.
Yep.
I'm not sure the dictionary's sort of favourite part of his...
Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
He's right, he's a fucking good man. Good man.
Yeah, well, he's a tool.
He's a good man.
A useful tool.
But I feel like the answer of yes
Yeah, that rules it out.
feels a little unambiguous
Yep.
to
And
me.
they also asked him, will you be here long term? And what did he say? Yes, I want to be here long term. I wanted to play for free since I was a kid.
Yeah, correct.
So-
Just give me Benny Cameron to finish off, please. Go back to Benny Cameron. Benny Cameron has come at me after this is a rare junk tweet, Mitch. The best journo in the business. Don't agree with that. I'm sorry. Don't disagree with that. Mitch Cleary.
Yep.
One of the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
to do
yeah.
it.
Tremendous operator, no questions
Who
asked.
doesn't get any wrong. Disagree.
He got one wrong.
Just maybe he knows something you don't. Will. Look, a couple of things here, Ben. Pretty much only Mum calls me Will, and I give her permission to, because she's the loving saint of my life. And
She
gave birth to me.
birthed you.
She can do what she likes.
Yeah.
So the Will is inferring that you superior to me.
Yeah.
Ben, I reckon he's got this one wrong, and it hasn't quite worked out for you here. So I just thought I'd check in, mate. Haven't heard back from you, Ben. I hope you're going well.
Hope you're well.
I love Twitter, especially in these moments.
If Dogger moves to Melbourne,
Yeah.
Mate,
we should get Ben Cameron.
and click this up. Have a bit of a laugh about it. This is funny. And
Oh,
if you want to
boy.
come at me, I'm keeping receipts, just so we know.
Great.
Yeah.
Luke Jackson to be in Freo for the next 50 years.
All right, we have a super comment here from...
Super
boy.
Ben Cameron.
I don't know who it's from. It just says boy oh boy for $7.99. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
There's no comment attached.
I think that was Ruben.
So I can't I can't actually
Yep.
say anything else other than boy oh boy. So thank you for that.
We'll get Luke on the podcast. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's-
How about we do that?
Let's fly through the West Coast Eagles. It was promised to be
Well, hang on a minute. Let's not fly through it.
We're
Dan,
gonna-
the
we're
West
gonna break
Coast
the
fan.
game
Let's
down.
break the shit out of this down.
Okay, we need to get
Let's
to
just
other
skim
things.
over this one. Don't
It
worry
was,
about it.
it was promised to be a new chapter for the West Coast Eagles, but it appears that we haven't even got past the contents page. There we go, losing to the Gold Coast Suns by 87 points, which helped them set their biggest ever winning margin. Hammer, is this what we should expect from the West Coast Eagles throughout 2025?
Yeah, Hamish.
Firstly, do you write these little preambles?
Yeah, I
it
do,
does.
yeah.
Do you
I
like
that. Yeah, it doesn't get past the contents page. That was good.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
would have thought you fucking didn't even open the book. Oh boy, it was bad.
Were you on the boundary for this?
I was on the boundary for this.
Oh,
now
boy. So was I.
I was not bullish, but I was hopeful that they would be a little bit more improved.
I wasn't.
I thought they would win the same amount of games, but I
didn't.
felt like they would do it in a better fashion and not have as many blowouts.
I didn't think that.
Okay, well, we'll get to you in a second, Will. They rolled out for that game. If you had no reference of time and you just watched that game, you would have been like, oh, it's round 24. They're ready to go on footy trip and they're beaten, battered, bruised, done.
By
They're
the
checked
best
out.
team
They're
of
ready
all
to go.
time.
And Gold Coast are going to win the flag. But
Which may be true.
But then all of a sudden you get your reference point, you understand that it's round one, and you question what the fuck have they been doing, and what the fuck has been going on.
Yeah,
They
I
look
don't know if you could have started any worse.
They
as
look
the
slow,
West Coast
tired,
Eagles.
unfit. They looked fucking cooked.
Yeah, so
Cooked.
So their midfield, look, that is top 3 midfield versus bottom 3 midfield, as we can see right now.
Witsy is a big bastard.
We
too.
know this,
Witsy's a monster.
but the
Anyway.
pressure that West Coast put Gold Coast under was 0. That was 70 inside 50s to 30, and I know they're incorrect, but it was something like that. So the West Coast backline, holes hanging out all day. You got Harry Edwards playing in front of his man, which is just, I'd spoke about this in the Shuttle Footy cast, but the front shoulder assertive bullshit that gets rolled out not only by West Coast, but other sides. Call me a dour traditional backman, but if you play your opponent from the back shoulder with physicality, it is very difficult, no matter who it is, for them to mark the ball, right? I'm telling you. I most of this other shit, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking shit predictions and who's going to win this and let's have a view on this. It's just all garbage.
Ben Cameron.
I do know one-on-one defensive craft, and the assertive play in front stuff works for someone like Jeremy McGovern, just a 5-time All-Australian, been doing his whole life.
Knows what he's talking about.
Tom Barris, but he looks silly in front sometimes as well, who's playing back shoulder at Hawthorn, might I add.
Yeah, much better.
A couple of guys like Harris Andrews likes to do it. You got to be the elite of the elite to be effective at it. If your midfield can't put an ounce of pressure on and you're playing in front as the West Coast backline, it does my absolute head in. Play back shoulder and beat your man. It does my head in.
So I felt for Harry Edwards on the day.
Yeah, so did I.
Because the midfield battle, it was like...
Battle. You're calling it battle.
Yeah, it's a battle. So like the Gold Coast boys have strapped, ready to go. You seen John Wick?
With the great respect and shout out to, no, I'm not going to say that actually.
You ever seen John Wick?
Yes.
You watch John Wick movies? You
Yes.
know when his dog dies and then he goes down to the basement and he like cracks the thing with a sledgehammer and like has all the guns. He's got everything ready.
Who's who in this?
Gold Coast is John Wick. They've killed. It's like, all right, we're smashing the
West
bricks.
Coast of the gang.
Everything's gone away, and he's just cracked this case. There's fucking knives, there's guns, there's everything he wants. Witsy's rolling out with a fucking bazooka. Matty Rowe's got a rocket launcher.
Who are West Coast?
I'm just getting there. Matty Rowe's got his rocket
dog.
launcher.
it might
Noah
be
Anderson's
the
got
dog.
the fucking double
not the
double
Russians.
knives with the fucking throwing stars, and Took Miller's got double Tommy guns rolling out. West Coast, not fucking Theon Greyjoy. They're the you know when they have that crash on the thing. West Coast to the pedestrian in the car next to it that just got flipped over and got killed. They rolled out to that battle with a Nerf gun and a super soaker and just got fucking minced.
It's not the Russians
middle.
rolling in to kill John
mate,
Wick.
it is-
Mate, I think the West Coast might be the dog.
No, yeah, West Coast is the first dog, the little beagle that just gets the shit kicked out of it and dies.
Oh my god.
You know, shout out Beagles.
Shout out Beagles. That's what happens.
Shout out Beagles.
That's what happens.
That was
Mate,
it.
And the West Coast Beagles.
The West Coast
That's where we're
Beagles.
at.
Yeah.
The West Coast Beagles. Shout out John Wick. But yeah,
That
it
is
was
getting
just,
clipped up
was,
immediately into a social reel.
It was just embarrassing.
I don't know. Oh, man.
And yeah, I don't know what to expect going forward, but that was that hurt to watch.
I'll give you positive. What
is it?
The song, new song, old song.
I rocked up late and didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Mate, joy to my heart hearing, "Hey Eagles, hey Eagles, we're flying high." You know the start?
Yeah, that was it. And
We're
that was it.
flying high.
And that was the start.
No,
Not that.
not that. I mean, that's the most positive thing that happened all day. And then it just went downhill from that. I saw some great spoils. Sam Collins spoiled
the ball 1,000 metres.
He started a set play by spoiling at 40 metres,
Yeah,
and
and
it was
yeah,
inside
yeah,
50.
that was really good.
Charlie Ballard almost killed me on the boundary
Yep, I
line with
saw
the spoil.
that.
It was brilliant. I loved
Yeah.
it. Gold Coast good, West Coast bad. West Coast Beagles. Thank you.
There we
Next.
go.
Dan, you want to add anything to that?
I would
as
just
a fan?
I would just say that the West Coast Eagles. I want
Beagle.
some.
Hang on, can
I
we
want
start?
some guts. I want some care. I want a bit of FU. I want. Here's the thing. This season, right, is meant to be our chance to show Harley Reid that we're worth staying around for. It's also our chance to show Chad Warner that you should. Do you think Chad Warner watches that and goes, "Yeah, I can't wait to play for West Coast"? No.
You need to turn it.
Oh, I can't wait
the
for Harley
Beagles-
Reid to stay here.
The West Coast Beagles needed to turn into the West Coast Big Black Staffies that John Wick gets in the next couple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Show
a dog.
Show some balls.
dog.
Show a bit of dog in you. Get
There
that
was
big
times
staffy.
when they're just two players just watching the ball and they didn't even go for it. It's just, it's insipid trash. Anyways,
Yep. The Beagles need to get going.
give us some guts. I don't
they
want to
will
win
be-
every game. Just don't get pants
We'll
like
be
that.
referring them to the West Coast Beagles
until they turn around.
we see any sort of dog.
Until we see a bit of that Staffy.
Yeah.
Big
Okay.
pit
Let's go through. We've got 2 more to get through before you have to go, Hammer.
we'll be
So
fine. I can
we'll get
stretch it
here. All right, boys. The tribunal.
Until 5:30.
I'll be late.
Tribunal is back. Jackson
Oh,
Archer,
fucking
Jack
course it is.
Scrimshaw,
This
and
is
Tom Lynch will all challenge their suspensions at the AFL Tribunal this week. To both of you, what is going on here? Do we know how this season is going to go in the Tribunal?
Yeah, we do. It's suspend the action. Sorry, suspend the outcome. Action doesn't really matter. We're not going to suspend bad actions. We're just going to suspend it when it ends badly. So if someone gets knocked out and someone gets hurt and it doesn't really matter how it happened, we're just going to give them weeks. And if someone does a really bad action but doesn't hurt someone, it's all good. Like, play on, no worries. Might give you a week. Tom Lynch jumped off the ground, hip and shouldered De Koning's face with his shoulder, right, while his arms were pinned. Luckily, De Koning doesn't get injured, gets 1 week. It's a shocking action, right? It is a shocking action. Poor old Archer, forgetting his first name, Jackson Archer runs in to win a hard ball, goes in hard, reminds me of his old man a little bit, goes in hard. Now, does he get his technique wrong? Yes.
Well, hang on a minute. Lucky he got his fucking technique wrong.
Cleary from Western Bulldogs also going for that hard ball. I don't think he's done much wrong either. However, the below the knee stuff. However, this action is not what we want out of the game. 2 blokes going hard for a ball. It ends terribly. The outcome is horrific. We do not want to see guys get knocked out. It's a contact sport. You can't. There's no way to adjudicate this. There's no way to stop players 0.01 of a second before Jackson Archer has to make a decision and go, oh, I'm about to get rubbed out 3 weeks here because a billion things are happening at once and I trip over and kick the guy in the head. Like, I just couldn't be more frustrated because the same shit happened last year and it's taken us 1 round to get there again.
Tom Lynch has, done what Cozzy Pickett did and shoulder tackled a bloke in the face. Jack Scrimshaw's gone the JBL clothesline from hell and just fucking roundhouse Jordan Ridley. Luckily, not luckily, he also got knocked out. That's not good. But he will serve his suspension while he's injured.
Lucky it wasn't a broken jaw.
Yeah, exactly.
But the action was horrific.
Archer. Did we get these clips in there that I sent through today?
Jaiden's got it.
Yeah. So this is the AFL sent this through to North Melbourne this morning. We were chatting with the boners. This is what they sent. What Jacko Archer should have done. So that's what they said to him. They said, mate, you should have done that. There's one example. Did we get any other examples in there?
Oh, that is good.
Jaiden, so this is what they sent to Jacko Archer as well. Mate, what about this? Did you think about potentially doing this?
This is the alternate action for you
This
to
is the
do,
alternate
Jackson.
action. So
instead of winning the hard ball.
Yep, don't worry about the hard ball, mate. Just sprint as fast as you can.
Here he comes. Is this Jacko Archer?
This is Jacko Archer here. This is what they sent through. Laura Kane sent this to the boners this morning.
Okay.
Bang, there it is. Do a massive flip and jump over, 15 of them. It's and we got one more. So they just said that didn't make it clear.
Here he is.
Just watch this,
Jacko
Jacko.
Archer.
That's what you got to do, son. Oh, that's impressive. Just run and front flip over 15 people.
Look, and there's the Cleary from Western Bulldogs going to celebrate.
Cleary
with
says,
him.
"Oh, thanks, mate. No worries."
Save me.
So a couple of things on this. One, Cleary's going on the slip and slide, like he's going for the footy,
but it's
and
not
that's
his fault either.
It's
right?
not his fault. Bad technique from Jacko Archer.
Yep.
If Jacko Archer had shown good technique then and turned his hips into him, he would have snapped Luke's face in half.
Yes.
And would have probably been suspended for life.
Yes.
Jacko could have had, I'm pretty sure a year ago that was a free kick for Archer for sliding under the knees.
Correct.
When did that rule get changed again? And also, it's like, he could have had his fucking leg snapped. If he had snapped his leg, would Luke Cleary have got weeks?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's a silly thing, and if that shouldn't get done.
But it will. Guarantee it will.
I don't want to do it.
So is it
I
just
said
an
something about
unfortunate incident?
The
Then?
way to fix it is to rule on action and not outcome. If you get kneed in the head in a marking contest,
unlucky.
It's a contact sport. You can't stop that from happening. Yet we're going to see guys get rubbed out for that.
Taking mark of the year, but no, it's a report because you need him in the back of the head.
Someone swings an arm, tries to king hit someone and misses them by a centimetre. They're going to get
Jesse
zero.
Hogan did that in the goal square.
They're going to get 0 weeks.
Right.
And so it's just rule on action.
The only thing that
it's so easy.
Well, rule on action is one, but two, you're going to have to. AFL players, I think, need to sign a waiver to say
we're not suing you.
We're not going to. If it happens based on an outcome of an action that is a football fucking thing.
Yep.
Whatever. It's like Luke Cleary. I think if you showed Luke, they don't take other players' perspectives into a tribunal hearing unless it's obviously Charlie Cameron's good record. But if Luke Cleary had said, actually, there's nothing he could have done, then don't worry about it.
Yes.
Which he will. I would bet my life on the fact that Luke would say that about that incident. Like, fuck, well, I probably would have done the exact same thing if I was in that spot. And so it should just be no questions asked. But it won't be.
There you go.
I'll be really, really upset if they
It's getting
ping him for
appealed
3 weeks.
as we speak.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Before we move on to the last thing that we can do with you, Hammer,
Super comment.
You didn't mention the Charlie Cameron thing. They did make the rule. They changed the rule.
Yeah, they changed it after.
Can't do that anymore, which is great.
Yeah.
All right,
After he got off and TB didn't.
TV didn't because he wasn't a good enough guy. All right, it's time to
worst guy.
celebrate the best backman of round 1. Jaiden, give us the sting, mate. There it is.
You got the power. Yeah, you got the power. So much fucking power.
Lizard.
Now, I am still, coming to terms with the idea of when I'm going to stop reading these votes out here because I want to make it interesting at the back end of the year. But we're round 2, so
Yeah, we're reading them out.
We're round 1. The winner's not.
We're
going to
reading them out. I would like to just say, could I request a bit of a graphic, Jaden? I'll do this live on air. Graphic of like what the leaderboard's looking like.
Yeah,
I'd
you
really
certainly
like
can.
something
we can.
in that regard. Anyway,
Don't need to do it right now, Jaiden. Just
this moment.
Plenty of great defending on the weekend.
Yes.
Plenty of piss poor defending too.
Yes.
Like there was a couple of teams that got absolutely obliterated.
I mean, Harry Edwards literally was a stepladder to the mark of the year, I think.
It was so unfortunate.
He actually said to him, "Mate, get ready. I'm going to bend
Jump
down
up.
for you."
Yeah, and held him there a bit too. Which was like,
He's
That was
you
a big
could-
mark. I'd be surprised if that gets beaten. Seriously.
yeah, and I also I'd be very
mark of the year.
Mark of the year. It was pretty fucking good. It's a really interesting one because the algorithm is so perfect that regardless of the score
Yes.
and regardless of what team you're on, if you're a good enough defender and you defend in the dourest of ways,
Yeah, you just defend. Your best defender.
it'll reflect in the votes.
Yeah, it's not like the Brownlow or the Coleman where you got to kick the most goals.
Yep, it's not like
you
that at all.
Or the Brownlow medal where you just willy-nilly throwing votes out to blokes having 6 touches a game. This is
the real shit. and
predicated from an algorithm.
it's an algorithm that is set that I have fucking tinkered with to the nth degree to make it perfect.
Yes.
And it obviously, hang on, let's just see. Hammer, does your algorithm work? Oh, let's just check the history. Jack Buckley, Harris Andrews. Yeah, it fucking works. It works, and it's fucking perfect.
Correct.
Now, looking through to round 1.
I can't remember who won.
Yeah, we go back.
Was it Sam Taylor?
We can go back last week. Sam Taylor
3
got
votes.
3 votes. I don't have it in my screen.
Tom Barris.
Tom Barris got 2, and Lewis Melican got the 1. So
Pelican.
The Pelican got the 1. Works. We go back through round 1, and we look at the results.
I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. I haven't heard this.
1 vote.
Wow.
In just a display of class and just perfect defending down back.
Yes.
Jake Lever.
Wow.
Did you watch that game?
No, I didn't.
Jeez,
It was
he
wet.
was good.
He was wet.
It was wet, and he was just a step. He was a class above. Just really wore that mustache perfectly, and just went, "Fuck yeah, I'm going." 1 vote, Jake Lever.
Bloody brilliant work, Jake.
2 votes. We watched the world's greatest upset on Thursday night,
I was live.
with the exception of obviously the dinosaurs. And I said,
Oh, yeah, that was
I
the
know.
Hammer
I know
ranks.
who's coming here because it was very evident.
There was, I think there was probably 3 blokes for Carlton that actually tried their best.
Yeah.
Paddy Cripps tried his guts out. Tom De Koning tried his
I
guts
can
out.
tell you who these votes aren't going to. Nick Haynes.
Nick Haynes isn't getting the vote.
He was poor.
Nick Haynes is not getting that vote.
Haynes was poor.
So Paddy Cripps tried his guts out. De Koning tried his guts out. But there was one bloke down back who just could not do a thing wrong, except the only thing that he did wrong was that he wasn't the one on the goal line
was
at the
playing for
end.
Carlton.
He was playing for Carlton. That was the only thing he did wrong. Jacob Wiedering.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
That was a big game.
A massive game.
Yeah.
I think he switched banks now. He's with Commonwealth, so he's he's been doing a bit better.
He
But
was playing against 6 forwards.
it was 1-on-6. It was 1-on-6 and he nearly won. He nearly won. Like the damn wall was breaking.
Yep.
And it was like all the rocks are crumbling and it's everything going wrong. And Wiedering's just
He had like
shouldering
the Hercules script. The Hercules
shouldering the
script
load.
thing.
It's like, Wiedering is just pushing this fucking rock and just trying his best to hold it in the air. And eventually it got too much for even him because his teammates started jumping on. They thought, I don't want, we're going to jump on and make it harder for you. He was unbelievable.
Yes.
2 votes for Jacob Wiedering. And with 1 vote, now this bloke got a bit of criticism last
3
year.
votes.
3 votes, sorry. This bloke got a bit of criticism last year.
Did he?
He did. He wasn't at his best. He was a very, very good defender. Then he sort of dropped off a little bit, and he was him and his partner were sleeping in different beds. He was doing a bit of stuff that wasn't really dour, but he wound it back. The captain of the Collingwood Football Club, Darcy Moore, on the weekend. Not sure if you watched that game.
Did not.
They won by about 80 points.
Yes.
They have they have cemented Ken Hinckley's due date for the lynching. That will be a public. We're going to start a GoFundMe page for the city of Alberton to raise enough money for the public funeral.
No.
So yeah, Darcy Moore. We're going to have a public lynching at the end of the year. Ken Hinckley, Alberton. We're going to do a GoFundMe.
Metaphorical?
Nah, yeah, obviously.
It's a
metaphorical GoFundMe page for Ken Hinckley's
Metaphorical lynching.
metaphorical, obviously, because you can't do that. But
Darcy Moore
has put his match payment into that, and he said, I'm going to start this up, because what he did on the weekend, they got absolutely smoked, but we all know that defenders are the ones that start up good team wins, and he was phenomenal. He wound the clock back. Has he won a best and fairest for them? I don't know, but he was very, very good. Should have. I think he's an All-Australian. He's obviously a premiership player.
Big question marks last week from him as well.
Massive question marks. And he was fucking unbelievable. So he won quite convincingly. We did say last week that Sam Taylor set the record for the best score. So he got 12 on the algorithm.
As Darcy Moore.
Darcy Moore hasn't. He's got an 8.
Okay.
But that shows you how good Sam Taylor was the week before.
Right.
So our current leaderboard is, as it stands, Sam Taylor and Darcy Moore tied first on 3 votes.
Yes.
Wiedering and Barris tied third on 2 votes, and Lever and Pelican on 1 vote.
Great.
And Sam Taylor holds the best score for the year on 12.13.
Sam Collins put his hand up for the spoil of the year, just like one of the greats. Now, before you leave, Hammer,
Sam Collins was 4th, by the way.
Yes,
Okay.
Daniel?
How much time do you have? Is it 0?
I got a minute or two.
Yeah.
Because we've got one more segment. It's going to take exactly 60 seconds.
Go for it.
Can you
What
go
is it?
for that?
I can do that.
And then after that, you're going to have to tell the people why they need to be at the Derby preview show
Yeah,
at
I'll
the
tell them
Level
that.
Hotel.
I'll certainly
That's
tell them
going to be your finisher.
Yep, that can be my finish.
All right.
Before we get there.
Here we go. Not sure how this is going to work, but we're going to get to this in 60 seconds on a clock and whip through every team. Right? You ready for this, Hammer? We're going to whip through every team and give them a way too early prediction for the season.
Is this just me, or is this going to?
No,
just
so we'll
me?
start with you, Hammer.
Right, yep.
It's going to be Hammer, Will. I'm going to read out.
Wait. I
Yeah.
get 60, he gets 60.
No. We get 60
Wow,
total.
30 each.
You have about 3 seconds
Sure.
to go through each team.
Yep,
right?
done.
I'm going to read out the team name.
Yep.
We'll start with you, Hammer. Jaiden, can you give us
Start
a
with
start?
me. Hammer points at will.
All right, here we go. Adelaide,
Yeah, going to make finals. Very good.
Brisbane Lions.
Awesome.
Isn't that meant to be
Okay,
nice?
now Will, Carlton,
Shit.
Hammer, Collingwood,
Awesome. Nick Dacos, best player in the world.
Essendon, Scully,
Could be good this year.
Fremantle,
The worst team. Put a big bick through them.
Geelong,
They love home ground at the Kinnear Park.
the Gold Coast Suns,
Their jumper looks shit, but they're fucking awesome. And Matt Rowell eats grass.
GWS Giants,
My favourite team ever. They win all the time like he keeps Mazzy.
Hawthorn,
Hawthorn looks so much better in their old last week's jumper with the dark V, and Tom Barris is fucking enormous.
Melbourne, Demons,
Can't win, ever.
North Melbourne,
Baboners, they're back. I'm getting nice and erect even now just thinking about them.
Port Adelaide,
Really shit.
Richmond.
Richmond, the worst team of all time, except they somehow won.
St Kilda,
Bad, really bad.
Sydney,
They're still pretty good. They're still pretty good. They won.
West Coast Eagles,
So shit!
Western Bulldogs.
When the fuck's Bont getting back?
Hey, we did it. 60 seconds.
We are 5 minutes somewhere. Oh, wait. Come back.
Oh, that was so lame. Oh my gosh.
Really good. All
right,
we
before
can get better at that.
Yeah, we can get way better at that. I'll
'Cause
probably
you went 2 off the top.
Yeah, and I also didn't know that it was happening.
You never know when anything's happening.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
Derby preview show live at the Leaderville Hotel next Thursday.
27th of March.
Come around really quick.
okay, it's
Why
27.
should we go to that? Because West Coast and Freo are shit.
Yeah, get a solo cam on me and you can clip this one up later. Righto, 27th of March, Leaderville Hotel. Why should you come down and watch and preview this derby? Well, let me give you the red hot tip. Fremantle is shit. West Coast is shit. You're both going to lose this weekend. You're going to be 0-2 going into round 3, and this is going to be the first time and probably the only time all year that either of your sorry mobs are going to fucking win a game. If you want to see the preview with Liam Duggan, the captain, Sean Darcy, hurry up and get back because they need you. They will be there. They'll be talking through the preview of the game, and if you want to see your team win a game and actually be able to celebrate something, unless it's a fucking draw, and let's God hope that's not going to happen, one of your teams are going to get a win. 27th of March, Leaderville Hotel. Get there and support your team's win for the only and first win of the season.
Tickets live now. backchatstudios.com.au. Head to the big ticket page. It's right there.
Literally, when you go to that website, there's a big thing that comes up at the start. It says, get tickets.
Get tickets now. See ya.
Worst case scenario would be...
Worst case scenario,
Get
it's
pissed with your mates on the
get pissed with
Thursday.
your mates on the Thursday, and then the game ends up being a draw, and you don't see your team win a game all year.
Yeah, that's the worst case.
Could actually happen.
See you, Hammer.
See you, Hammer. Thanks for coming.
Hammer's going to East Perth training.
Yep.
Hey,
to lead his side to a flag.
to a premiership.
This is where it starts.
Yeah, right now, Hammer, line in the sand moment. Come on, this is you, man. 1 week at a time. Here we go.
It starts at BackChat.
Anything else you want to say about the Derby preview? I think that's
pretty much
it. It's only, I mean, honestly,
I'm not sure how the captain and star ruckman of the Freo Dockers will feel about Hammer's sort of synopsis of both your teams.
well, there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, I can't argue it. I just think, 3 weeks in, you're going to want time to just sit around and have a beer and, either commiserate or celebrate.
What else are you doing on a Thursday night?
You bet you have to leave the hotel.
Yeah, are you going to watch the game at home? Boring.
4:30, doors are open, Port Essendon.
Yep.
Can we get a little link in the YouTube comments?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. I'll do that. Here we go.
I will say some giveaways coming regarding buying tickets. So if you buy some tickets, we've got some giveaways to line up.
True. Yeah, tickets to
tickets.
to the
tickets.
Derby.
Yeah, we've got tickets to the Derby giveaway. So start buying your tickets. If you don't have tickets, you can't win the tickets. If you want to go to the Derby for free, might just buy a ticket.
There you go.
Maybe.
All right, last week you and I, we got to go to the MCG to watch what might possibly be the best game of the season. Like, it could be, if we look back at this, that opening game at the MCG could be the best.
Yeah.
How good is watching? I'm into the G to watch footy for like 7 or 8 years. It's so good watching footy at the G.
It'll certainly be the best game we see at the MCG this year.
That's true.
So I don't think we'll see another.
Unless we go to the grand final.
Just to talk through what happened here, it was one of the great setups of all time. Got a couple of great visitor passes to the MCC members reserve.
Yeah.
You're a bit apprehensive because that's generally where the old boys hang out.
Not as preppy as I expected.
I did tell you
it was a bit
this.
feral.
Yeah, it was great. So basically, you can become a member if parents sign you up, and that's pretty much all it is. Like, the membership is pretty well off. If you go every weekend, it's well and truly worth your money. And like I said, we went in the standing area. We weren't in the long room. If you went up to the long room, you'd be sickened up there, mate. Okay. But we were downstairs in level 1 standing area with a whole bunch of Richmond fans, and it was hilarious. Halftime, me personally, and I was egging them on.
Yep.
Sakuze.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what it is. Carlton were just sizzling, mate. And they're going backwards and slow ball movement and didn't look good at all. After that moment, Richmond decided to just absolutely pull the pants down of Carlton. And I'm not going to break the game down, but...
And pull the shorts up as well,
mate,
of some players.
Correct. Cock and balls out on show. The boys that were with, a few of them said they were BackChat fans. They just loved it. Turned from Uze getting the sack to... we're winning the flag.
Uze for president.
Sending Carlton fans out the race. If you want to see a bit of footage, jump on BackChat socials. It was brilliant. And then we went to Swan Street before for a beer. We went to Swan Street after for a beer. The overall atmosphere is that much better than Optus Stadium. It's not funny. Yep. And I think the big reason is the village concept of there's venues everywhere. So everyone comes in to go, all right, let's catch up before the game. Let's catch up after. Even if they lose. There was Carlton fans out like this was shit. It doesn't happen here. They need to put a big bloody precinct at East Perth in Optus Stadium.
Correct.
And there should be wine bars. There should be pubs.
Yes.
There should be, I don't know.
So I went to the game yesterday, to the West Coast game.
Well, we love the Camfield.
We love the Camfield. But so I got on the train, right? Got to my parents' house at just before 2 p.m.
Yes.
Got on the train at 2:10. The train stopped 3 or 4 times because it was just really busy. We walked forever to get there was nothing to do in between. It was just, it takes your experience of going to the footy to we got to take 2 or 3 hours to get there and get there in time to get to your seats and grab a beer somewhere.
You just want
Whereas
to
in Melbourne, it's let's go grab a beer at a bar that's half an hour away and then walk in. It's so good.
We walked in 7:30 start. We left the pub we were at 7:58.
Yeah, and we got to our seats and we watched the centre bounce.
Optus is lacking in that area highly, and I feel like there's opportunity on the other side.
Walking across the bridge is so good.
I think there's some sort of issues on the Burswood
The
side.
Murraygut Bridge, however you pronounce it.
On the other side, where Gloucester Park is, just flood it with venues. Because East Perth's been a pile of shit for 20 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, no better the football club, clearly.
So on YouTube, Berksy says, when footy was at Subi, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's elite.
Well, I never really experienced that as a fan.
Rockaby Road, just the wood-fired pizza, Woody's Pizza or something that there was 1,000 people waiting out the front there.
Unbelievable.
So good. I'm just going to go to a couple of YouTube comments
Yes,
here.
please.
Jada Productions. Dockers are so annoying, though. They might come out and beat Sydney, confusing us like third quarter versus Geelong.
I didn't want to say that to Hammer, but like, there's every chance they come and smash Sydney because
That's right.
Sydney aren't very good.
Uh,
I don't want to say they're not very good, but they.
How about this one, Scully? What's the worst trade of all time? Dan Houston early, but fuck me, it's up there.
He pretty much walked out the door for not a lot. Couple of steak knives. Boys hanging around to slap him up after the game as well. That annoyed me. Annoyed a few others too.
Yep.
Dan Houston getting to Collingwood. I think their forward line, Collingwood, with Membry, with McStay fit, and with Myercheck, that's a very good forward line. I think Collingwood might be half good this year. Don't know.
Couple more questions. Is Tassie going to win finals before West Coast is back in form?
I just saw, maybe, I just saw some stuff. Caro's Arrow doing a thing on 7 now. There's been some releasing of information on the Tasmanian team. So I think they're going to get, okay, this is the top of my head, 12, the best 12 17-year-olds in the country in 2027.
Based on whose decision of their...
Them, they pick.
Oh, right, okay.
First 12.
Right, so they scout them.
Yeah, they pick 12 17-year-olds. No one else gets to do that other than them. So it's the best because they picked them.
Yeah.
Which is what Gold Coast and GWS did. So the year before they come into the comp. Then when they come into the comp, they're going to have 8 first-round draft picks, some of which they'll have to trade. They are going to have $1.5 million bonus outside the salary cap to spend how they wish. And that's on players. So it sits outside the regular AFL salary cap. So they could go 1.5. Who's the best player in the comp? Jeremy Cameron right now. I don't know.
Dacos.
Nick Dacos, he's 1.5 right now.
And it doesn't affect the cap. Amazing.
No, yeah. So they're going to have the opportunity to go and do that. So to answer your question, West Coast just need to be shit for another couple of years. This year's draft, 2025, 2026, 2027 will be unaffected because the 17-year-olds will be getting added on. But the 2028 draft is going to be a pile of shit for everybody.
We'll be fine by then.
Yeah,
sure.
You're going to
we'll
want
be
to
fine
load
by
up
then.
for 3 years.
Yeah, that's fine. I can handle that. What changes would you make to the West Coast team next week if you were coach?
Well, Bo Allen will come back in. I think I'd put Liam Duggan inside. He played in the back line most of the day because of that. So I'd put Liam Duggan inside to change the mix of the midfield. Like the midfield looked sluggish. I think you want Hewitt, Reid, and Kelly almost rotating through one spot. You can't have you can't have 2 of the 3 of those in there.
Yep.
They're not fit enough and they're not good enough at the moment. So I'd be playing Duggan and Graham inside and then rotating those 3 guys forward. Jack Hutchinson I liked. Dewar I'd put on a wing.
Took a lot of kickouts, Dewar.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think any other changes. I mean, no Jake Waterman. Archer Reid was basically non-existent. Do you change the ruck combo?
Bring Bailey Williams back.
He was competitive. I will say that. Ruck's an issue for you.
Yes. All right. Quickly before we finish off, we've got an interview to finish off the podcast.
Yeah, a little bit of RAC.
With Jordan Roach from the RAC Arena. Really interesting chat about how it works, sporting events, concerts and stuff like that. Before we get to that, we need to announce this week's winner for tipping.
How many did you get?
I got 6. I was trying to find, what's your name on tipping? Because I was trying to figure out how many people are ahead of you. Are you Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, so you're currently 82nd or something, or 83rd.
I am. Let me pull it up right now, Dan. I'll tell you
while
why
you're looking that up, Jono37 is our weekly winner. He got 8 right with a margin of 13. I assume he didn't pick Richmond. I didn't check. I'd have to assume he didn't pick Richmond.
Nice, Jono. Very good.
Well done.
Clapping with one hand. He got 8.
8, yeah, margin of 13.
I got 7.
Did you?
Only 2 me and Hammer missed were Richmond.
Yep.
Because I picked favourites plus an upset, and I missed my upset, which is the bonus to beat
Bonus.
Bulldogs. Got everyone else. So I am sitting, Daniel, Goodwill Hunting, BackChat Shelter. I am coming. It's not telling me.
I'm pretty sure it was 83rd.
All right, I'm gonna have a look.
So currently there's 82 people that are winning $10. Which that's $820.
I am coming 83rd.
Yeah, okay. So currently we're giving away $820. I prefer to keep that down if possible. So I'm going to need you to lift.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on total tips though, so I'm equal. Hang on, I'm equal 33rd.
Right. Okay.
It's a good start.
Yeah, okay.
Where are you coming?
112th.
In front of you?
Yeah, that's true. There is.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. We will be finishing up the pod after this interview, so we're not going to be coming back. So we'll say thank you now to our sponsors, Paywise, TABtouch, Shelter Brewing Co, Whippersnapper Whisky, ID Athletic, Mamba Digital, On One Services, Camera Electronic, for everything that you need. Everything that you're seeing is that on your screen right now, everything you're hearing through Camera Electronic. They're just right near our office as well, so we just go in there and get stuff as we need it.
They're amazing.
They're bloody amazing. Any final thoughts before we go to this interview?
Look, I just really hope West Coast and Freo aren't shit all year. I can't actually do this negativity bullshit all year.
Not for a whole nother year.
I can't. I actually can't. So I think Freo's our only hope. It's why I've been trying to pump them up. Maybe expectations got the best of them. I just really hope one of them are good. Buy your Derby preview tickets.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Literally, right this second. backchatstudios.com.au.
Is it in YouTube chat?
Yeah, it's in there.
Great.
Click the link, just buy it. $20.
Go on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, got a special guest in studio, Jordan Roach, the Technical Operations Coordinator with RAC Arena. I love official badges like that. Jordan, welcome, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me to be here.
No, it's good. So being here in Perth, Western Australia, been to a lot of events at RAC. Usually quite a flawless operation in there, if I might.
Very nice. Yeah, Wildcats, Elite, UFC, Elite. Yeah, always a good time.
What are you doing in there? How are you fit into the piece?
So I work in technical operations and work health and safety. Our job is basically to collate all the information that we get from promoters and make sure that what's executed actually happens. So we work a lot with all the other departments. So we'll work with presentation services, we'll work with the marketing guys, we'll work with ticketing. We sort of collectively all work together and make sure that, when the promoter walks into the venue, everything's there and ready for them to go.
It feels like there's a lot going on with different leagues around, NBL being one of those. But you got the netball there, you got UFC, doing their long-term thing as well. Plus promotion of music events. Like, it feels like there's a lot happening. Does it feel like that?
Yeah, well, we are a multi-purpose
Yeah.
venue. So obviously outside of the sports, we've got the music stuff as well. We'll do comedy. We'll do the tennis at the end of the year.
Yep.
We've done ice hockey before. We've done the wrestling. We've done a bit of everything. So
That's so good. So the floor obviously changes for every event. Like, you got the basketball. I've always, I don't know why, but in my head, I think when you go to rec centers and stuff, there's just the basketball floor is the floor.
yeah.
But at RSC Arena, it's not, right? It's just concrete, and you guys just, one night you just have to lay a basketball court. How does that work?
So we've actually got three floors. So if you ever look in the actual arena, you'll see there's a timber section of flooring, and then outside of that is concrete. Underneath that timber section is actually the tennis court. So
Right.
when we do the tennis at the end of the year, we lift that section up, and then you've got a tennis court. In the case of basketball, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, so it's all stacked up on pallets. We bring it out, it all sort of clips together. Probably takes 4 hours, 12 to 14 guys, 4 hours to get the court, just the court itself down. And then once we've done that, we'll sort of do everything around the outside of the court. So we'll pull all the seating banks out, we'll pull the grandstand out, and then in the case of Wildcats, they'll come in and set all their stuff up, which is courtside.
Sorry, but how are you rolling in a ice hockey rink then? Like, you're just putting a bit of water down and freezing it up?
Literally, yeah.
What?
So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. So one way is they will literally create what looks like a little pool and just fill it with water and then freeze it. It's crazy. They obviously put plastic and stuff down as well to make sure it doesn't leak. Or the other way is they'll have these steel trays that they lay down, and then they'll have a coolant that they pump through the steel trays. So what will happen is they'll put it all together, and then they'll start pumping the coolant through it, and then you just water it like you're watering a garden. And then you give it a couple of hours, wait for that to freeze, and then you water it again and wait for that to freeze, and then it ends up being about that thick.
Where does it all go when you're done with
crazy.
it?
They
Defrost
smash it to pieces.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then they put it in our loading dock, and it takes a few days to melt, and then we'll go and get the forklift with a big scooper on the front to push it around to make sure it actually melts in time. I don't know if you've ever seen The Simpsons, Mr. Plow from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Literally, that's us. We're out the back moving the ice around to get it to melt. So.
And that's crazy because you'll do that, but then the night the next night you'll have like Scully always goes to the Pink, like whenever Pink's in town, Scully's there, loves Pink concert.
Nice, Dan.
But you're doing that. It takes 4 to 6 hours, whatever, with all these people, and then the next night it's completely different.
Yep.
Like that must be chaotic.
Yeah, so we do overnight flips basically. So in the case of a music event, typically they would sort of be packed up and out of the venue by like sort of 2:30, 3 a.m. And then we'll have a crew of, depending on what we're setting up for the next day, we have a fairly large crew come in and flip that room over.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm thinking about all these different things you're doing. There must be, and you don't have to say who, but there must be stuff that gets requested or like, you know, specifications that needs to be rolled out that you just sit there and be like, sorry, how are we doing this? Or is there anything crazy that gets asked or like?
I mean, we're pretty lucky because we're a touring venue, so we are only providing a certain amount of infrastructure in the venue. Everything is toured. Lighting, sound, video. They have a touring crew that comes through.
Right, they bring it in themselves.
Everything. So if you walked into the arena on a normal day when nothing was on, there'd be not much in there. What we provide as a venue is things like the stage. We'll do the barriers. We'll provide all the furniture and stuff for the dressing rooms. But when it comes to the big picture things, it's toured. So, yeah.
Right. And speaking of dressing rooms, do you have any requests, like odd requests for dressing
like
rooms?
the
You know,
rider.
when, like Drake comes
Like
in.
yeah.
And anything of that comes to mind?
Nothing crazy. Like our department works with our catering team. So our catering team mainly look after the dressing room spaces. Where we provide support is with furniture and stuff like that. So
I want 25 uncooked chickens.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
You're not offering that.
no, we've done some cool stuff. Like we had an event last year where the artist wanted one of the rooms to basically look like an apartment. So we had to get in curtains and do white curtains all around the outside of the room.
So you're like, what are we doing here? Seriously.
I want it to look like my apartment.
Literally. I guess it's probably from their perspective, if they're touring the world, if there's one thing that's consistent for them when they go to every venue, it probably makes them feel a bit more at home.
I feel like whoever that is has a lot of money. Like, you know, like
It's probably Drake.
Dan Const, Will Schofield do BackChat. We're just copping. Any room with a couch would be
I
nice.
know, a nice chair.
What about opening and closing the roof? Like I've only been to a couple of events where the roof is open. Is that, again, by request? Is that something that you guys get to dictate? How long does it take to open up? Like, I'm assuming like at halftime of the basketball, you can't just whip her open if it's a nice night outside.
No, yeah. So obviously for the tennis every year, it's just by default, tennis being an outdoor sport, so we have to open it up. The first thing is we have to take the scoreboard down. So that giant scoreboard in the middle of the arena has to come down. So if you've been to a Wildcats game where we've done an open air game, you'll see that scoreboard's down and we've actually got 2 screens at the end of the arena instead. There's a bit of work that goes into it. Probably takes maybe 6 or 8 guys half a day to get that scoreboard down. Maybe a little bit longer because it's new. We've only had it since last year. So we're getting faster at, packing it up and setting it up. So we take that down, we'll go up on the roof, we'll do some checks to make sure there's no cables running anywhere where they shouldn't be. And then we'll go up to our control room and you literally sit behind what looks like a James Bond's villain's console. Push the button, tell it how far you want to open, and then it starts to roll open.
Right. Speaking of the Wildcats, Wilbur, the Wildcat.
Yeah.
He swings from the roof.
Yep. Terrifying.
Is that terrifying, logistically for you guys having to sort that out, or do you have any involvement in it?
They've got a contractor that comes in and do it. So these guys, that's what they do. They do crazy stuff. They propel themselves offside of buildings and all that sort of stuff. So I think there's 2 or 3 in their team that come in and do it, and they'll rehearse it obviously the day of, make sure everything's okay, check all their equipment. It still gives you a little bit of your heart stops a little bit when he takes that first step off the edge, but
yeah,
I'm tossing up whether or not I do it myself. I don't know whether I'd jump off the catwalk, but
I think because normally Wilbur is just a guy, he's a teenager.
Weren't you Wilbur?
I was Wilbur once,
Yeah.
but just for a photo shoot. I didn't have to do any flips or anything.
You
No, I
didn't
didn't
go
go
through
off
the
the
ring?
roof. But that's usually just a guy, one of the cheerleaders or something. But
Usually.
the guy that's swinging isn't
no, the guy swinging is a trained professional.
Yeah, and then they just swap.
Yeah.
So your time off the roof today, mate.
Yeah. There's paper, scissors, rock.
What gets the biggest crowds in there? Is it an event like the UFC? I went to the UFC. I've been both times over the recent times, and the Volkanovski one a couple of goes ago. I reckon that's close to the best atmosphere I've ever been in. Is that from a crowd perspective, the ones where you can get floor seating as well as the
definitely
stadium?
The more noise you get from the crowd, the more atmosphere it creates.
Yeah, but is that the biggest crowds, those sorts of events? Versus like a Vici, I went to Vici ages ago out the front, like where a stage at the front, you're kind of cutting off the back of the stadium.
I think the benefit of doing it in something like the arena is everyone's going to have a pretty good view as well. So there's so many different seating configurations we can do for events. So we can basically get up to about 16,000 people in the venue, depending on how we do that seating configuration. So for a Wildcats game, obviously, I think we can get up to 11,000 in there because the floor's obviously got the basketball court on it.
Yep.
Whereas a standing GA event, we can get probably 13,000 because we've got, 4,000 people on the floor plus, everything else. We've done comedy events where they have wanted to achieve a certain capacity. So we've done them in the round, which is basically when the stage is in the middle of the arena.
Dave Chappelle was like that.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle, and there was a couple of others. And then we do seating on the floor around the outside, and then we've got all the seating banks, around the rest of the venue as well.
That's good. I went to Sushi Mango. They just had the stage. But Dave Chappelle was like, wow. He was like sitting on a chair in the middle of the whole thing.
Jimmy Carr did the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so what's coming up? Is there any big ones coming up?
So the UFC have just announced they're coming again. They haven't announced a date yet. We're about to go into netball season as well, which is pretty cool. That starts next month. We've got Katy Perry coming up as well, which is going to be a big one.
You like that?
And
I listen to a lot of Katy Perry because my daughter always wants to listen to Katy Perry. It's not me, I promise.
You love Katy Perry.
I've seen her live before. She does a really good show. Yeah. And there's I don't know if you're on TikTok. There's been a few releases of what her stage and stuff is going to look like. Right. So I'm looking forward to that one.
How's it going to look?
Mate, it's going to look real good. I can't wait. When's Pink coming next?
I don't know. Haven't said anything. Pink was at. She wasn't with us last time. She has done shows at the arena before, so
it's Sco's favourite.
Yeah, she was only here. I think it was last year, but she did it outdoors. So
right.
I only go if it's at RAC.
Of course.
I don't,
great. We love that.
I don't deal with any other places here in Perth. It's RAC Arena or it's bus. Basically, that's how I like to look at it.
Love that.
Jordan, mate, thanks for coming in.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Coming for a chat. I assume now we'll just be at free access to RAC Arena.
Yeah, totally. You've
for
got
the
my
rest
number.
of our lives. Is that what's going
Parking VIP tours.
Yeah. I want the A1, like right next to the elevator. Assuming there's some sort of penthouse suite.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you up in the VIP suites.
Look forward to being there, mate.
We'll be there.
Thanks for joining us on BackChat.
Thanks.